Alright, so it is the evening of day 17. Monitoring the growth of these red-tailed catfish. I'm going to turn off my pump here. 17 days already, which is kind of crazy. Alright, so let's take a look. See what we have here. Got one on the bottom, one in the handle. Look, he completely covers the whole handle. Pretty soon he won't be able to fit in that handle. So cute. Alright, buddy. Come on out. Alright. Wow. These guys grow like every day. They seem like they are quite a bit bigger every single day. Alright, so I'm going to feed. I have 5 more blocks of bloodworms left. So we'll do these last 5 blocks. We're feeding 2 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. And then after those are done, we'll break into some of the other frozen stuff we have in the freezer. Have some tilapia, some shrimp, some beef liver. I heard some people saying that beef liver makes them grow really super fast. All right. We have bloodworms in the water. All right, so I'm going to put this camera in my waterproof housing, and I'll give you a little bit of underwater video footage. And then at the end of this video, I'll put tomorrow's feeding. We'll feed in the morning of the day 18th, the 18th day. And if you want to subscribe and follow me in growing up these red-tailed catfish, they grow super fast. I've heard they can grow up to 1 inch a week, especially once they hit about 7 weeks, which is coming up here in a few weeks. They should go through a really fast growth spurt. All right, so I'm going to put this in my housing, and we'll do a little bit of underwater video with these guys. All right, so it's the morning of the 18th day watching these catfish grow up, and today I'm going to do a big water change. So I pulled the filter out. First thing I'm going to do is clean up the bottom. You can definitely see the fish now. It looks like they've almost doubled in size since I've got them. It's pretty wild. Plenty of room in this pond still. Not outgrowing it. I was kind of looking at some of the other options as far as when they do outgrow this. I think what I'm going to do is they have some of those portable soft side ponds. I'm gonna try one of those in the house, in the basement. Yeah, I live up here in the mountains of Colorado, and it gets really cold in the winter, like -40 Fahrenheit. So too cold outside for these guys, so they'll have to be in the house. So I'll have to figure that out. I figured I could put them on my basement here. The basement's mostly storage. We don't really use it. So I could do a pretty big pond here. This net is huge. This net, I could use this net on something much bigger than this. This is like a 350-gallon hot tub here. Well, it's actually 400 gallons, but I fill it with 350 gallons of water. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is pump the water out. So what I actually do is I hook the hose up to the pump, plug the pump in. There's actually a switch on the pump where you can switch it from the fountain on the top to the valve on the side, and it pumps out the water. And then I just set my timer for 30 minutes. It takes 30 minutes to pump this out. It's actually pretty easy. And then to fill it up, it takes, well, last time I filled it up, it was an hour and a half to fill it all the way up to, I guess this is pretty good the way I had it filled up. So maybe I'll do an hour and 20 minutes and come back and check on it so I don't overfill it. Like last time, it got a lot more full than I thought it was gonna get. And then after that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the filter apart, and I just take the sponge part up in the sink, just clean out the sponge. And then today I'm gonna replace the carbon with a little bag of carbon. All right, so I pumped this up for 30 minutes, and it didn't seem like it was as far down as it usually gets. So I added another 5 minutes. And what I'm thinking the sponges in the filter are slowly getting dirty, picking up some stuff. And maybe that is what's causing the pump to pump a little bit slower. So apparently I'll have to keep checking on it when I drain it, because it seems like it's a variable. So what I'm gonna do now, it's all the way right below these little jets where the hot tub used to have the jets. I just put the plugs in there. So that's pretty good. Coming down, I'd say that's about half. Probably half of the 350 gallons. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna switch it and start filling from the kitchen sink. All right, so I've been filling this up for an hour and 10 minutes. So I checked that on an hour. It looked like it needed a little bit longer. I'm gonna leave it just a few inches from the top. So if you bring it up too close, I think the fish could jump out. So I like to keep it down just a little bit. This looks pretty good. And what I'm using is this little, it's like a pocket hose, really super lightweight hose that goes all the way up to the kitchen. All right, so I actually tore this filter apart and I cleaned everything. So take a look at these. This is kind of interesting. I just bought these over on Amazon, and what those are, take a look at this. It's a really fine mesh zippered bag that you can put your media. You can put like biological media or carbon. I was buying little carbon bags, and it was really super expensive to buy the bag and the carbon. So I switched to this. This is fantastic. I'm gonna start doing this, and that has a zipper on the top, so you can open it up and close it. I've heard, some have drawstrings, which aren't as good. And this bag came with the filter. It's like a fine mesh, not really as fine as the other one, but it holds all the biological media. It actually gave me like little plastic beads and like really porous stones in there. And let's see here. Hopefully I didn't put too much carbon in here. So this is the first time I'm changing the carbon. And let's see, that goes on top. And this goes on here. And then let's see, I believe the fine sponge went on the bottom. And for these, I just rinsed them in the sink with tap water, and my tap water is well water, so you don't really have to worry about killing any of the biological media. And then that, and then it just snaps all together, and that's it. All right, so I have another frozen block of bloodworms we're going to feed them here. And kind of the funny thing is when I first set up this hot tub catfish pond, the first week it really smelled pretty bad. And it seems like the more I do water changes, these big water changes, the less it smells. It hardly doesn't smell at all now. I don't know if it was just because some of the old stuff I had, you know, kind of floating around here in this hot tub from when it was actually a hot tub. I was talking to one guy, and some guy in the comments was saying that I should have, when I started, I probably should have, you know, tore the whole thing down and scrubbed it and made sure there was no chemicals or anything in here. I just filled it and then drained it and then filled it again for the catfish, but I didn't spend a lot of time really scrubbing it down. So luckily we didn't have any chemicals hanging out that actually killed the catfish. All right, so I'm going to do a little underwater video, and that's it for today. Clean for another week.